Good day everyone, I hope you're doing well and thank you for joining me today. Today I am going to take you through a fundamental move which is often overlooked in terms and in regards of low back pain. In regards to a lot of things in the body, from stability of the spine, stability of the low back during strength training, resistance. But for today's post I am going to talk specifically about low back pain. Yesterday I saw a really cool guy called Richard who is in his late 70s, and I travelled about 30 minutes because he reached out to me and I was in the area. And he was talking about low back pain, had a recent surgery, and wanted to know what he could do to get himself back on his feet and standing with low back pain. I took him through 4 to 5 movement patterns, but today I'm going to talk to you about the first movement pattern that I took him through, which hopefully can help you today and help your low back pain and just get you back onto your feet, but with the most simple, overlooked exercise that you can possibly do. The exercise I want to go over today is for the diaphragm. Usually people recognize the diaphragm as the main function of inspiration, which is inhale and exhalation. Like I said, a very overlooked part of the body because it has so many amazing benefits. And like I said today, just going to speak about the low back. Why the diaphragm is so important for the low back is because it is deeply connected to the low back. It has connections, it has roots connected to the thoracic spine, which is the T7, T12 insertion of the spine. So thoracic is up here, and then it has an insertion in the lumbar spine, L1, L3, the lumbar spine down here. Now, when we're talking about low back specifically, we are looking at the lumbar area of the spine. So the diaphragm situated here has deep connections leading to the low back and to the thoracic spine. So to start, it is so important because it is literally connected to the lower back and to the middle and upper back. Now, if the diaphragm does not work that well or doesn't function, then we have a problem. We have limited or no stability of the lower back. If there's no stability of the lower back, there is a greater likelihood of low back pain. It can be a cause, or it can be an exacerbation of other reasons and other situations and other causes. So we really need to focus on getting the lower back, working with the diaphragm as one of our first exercises to focus on to help with low back pain. When the diaphragm does works well with the rest of the body, works well with the low back, works well with the pelvic floor, with extension, with flexion. Sorry, I did that wrong. I meant extension and flexion. It's like a well-tuned piano or a guitar. All the notes working together, making a finely tuned instrument, or in this case, a finely tuned body. So the first exercise, the exercise I did yesterday, was a simple exercise called the hand exercise. So you will keep the legs bent in. This just takes a bit of strain off the lower back. Think the longer the legs are, the longer the lever. So it'll put a bit more pressure, tension on the lower spine. So just keeping the legs in is a much healthier position, especially if you have low back pain. The hand test is one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. I always recommend doing it from the floor first because there's no load on the spine. There's less gravity on the floor here, so you don't have to deal with the pressure when you're on 2 feet. So here is a very good position to start with. The exercise is really simple. All through the nose, you want to imagine moving this hand on the belly up and down without moving the hand on the chest too much. So when you take the inhale, the hand on the belly just wants to move. And then the hand on the chest will move slightly after the first third of the breath, but then exhale. So inhale, belly rises, hand rises. Exhale, hand falls in. This is functioning. This is a functioning diaphragm. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls in. I'll show you without the hands. It will rise. It will fall. And what you can do as a progression, as the weeks go by, is you can start moving in an upright position. Again, you can do the same process, hand on the belly, hand on the chest. Posture. To slowly onto all fours. Again, more loading of the spine. So see how we're incrementally increasing the load of the spine, which is very good for low back pain, because you want to start from a position which is right for you and your pain. So we work then from all fours. You'll take the inhale, belly rises, belly falls in on the exhale. To eventually, one of the last exercises, which I will do with Richard, or what I've given him maybe after 12 weeks, is onto your feet, just standing, exhaling. So moving from the floor to a standing position. But today I want you to practice from the floor. So what I would recommend is, if you do struggle with this exercise, do this once a day, do this every other day, potentially 3 times a week if you are very busy, but spend about 5 minutes doing that. It's really simple. Inhale, belly rises, hand rises, exhale, belly falls in. And over time, you're getting that diaphragm working correctly and in a really low impact way. Remember, when you're on the floor, there is less load of the spine, so your spine can just relax. It doesn't have to think about the pain or the discomfort. It can just go ahead with the exercise. And when you get used to this, when you get the diaphragm working, the diaphragm increases spinal stability, which increases and promotes intra-abdominal pressure. Once you have that intra-abdominal pressure, you are starting to get correct support for the lower back, for low back stability, and thus less low back pain if this is one of the causes. But over the last 8 years, what I've seen is, if someone can't correctly engage the diaphragm that well, low back pain tends to be prominent. So please give this a shot. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this valuable, useful, and if you learned something today, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I would love your support. 100 days posting on YouTube, and let's see where we go. Big love to you, and get practicing.